What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today is the second video for the 2-video release day. I didn't know how to go with that. It's actually going to be 3. I don't know if I said in the next one. We got Nikita on standby. Nikita, Gunther, and Cody are going to be dropped today. So I'm kind of trying to catch up with the month that I missed everything. So excuse me for the video drop, but there'll be more to come. I have some other videos to show. One of them is going to be Acro Taker. Hopefully at 6-star silver. Most likely will still stay 6-star bronze. But I got to unlock his belt because I did get the plate for him. The other video is going to be basically a follow-up video because I did get the Heartstopper plate for Zombie Becky. So when I get that slot unlocked on the belt, and she's going 6-star silver in just a few days. When the kickoff tour starts, she's going to go 6-star silver. When that happens, I'm going to have the plate on her. I'm going to hopefully have... I really don't think I'm going to do the pyro plate on her. I think I'm just going to do the sub-break plate. But it's up for debate. Currently, with having the Heartstopper plate, she is locked into triple blue. So that should allow me to use Nikita as a triple black. So that opens me up a little bit more. It does hurt Nikki a little bit because Nikki is triple blue a majority of the time, but I think I have a way around that as well. So moving on to Gunther. Zombie Gunther, in the beginning when I first saw him, obviously we don't have a strap for him, but my strap that I am going to put on him is this anti-stun strap that's on Ricochet right now. I was going to go with the anti-bleed belt, but there's not that many bleeders in males right now. It's mostly stuns. So I'm trying to lock in all my anti-stun guys. I have Bobby Lashley on standby for 6-star silver after Nikki Cross goes because he has an anti-stun belt. I want to throw Gunther in with an anti-stun belt. I want at least 2 out of my 6 options, maybe 3 if I can get there, to have anti-stun belts come fuse. Just because I want to fuck with people. They've messed with me enough times, I want to mess back. What ideally I would like to see is I would ideally want to put this on him, but since it's 20%, not really worth it. It can stay on Damien. Damien still does wonders. The anti-bleed is great, but again, not that very many bleed guys. And to be honest, I was actually half tempted to throw this on him, but then I realized he doesn't do leech gems, so the superhero plate doesn't really apply. But I am thinking of throwing that on Zombie Liv and going triple yellow. So that way I'm getting a little bit of added pump up to the damage being done. If she could do 15 red gems in one turn, I would ultimately throw the Cody plate on her too with the superhero plate and just pump it up. But since Trick Dom is actually getting replaced by Gunther, then the superhero plate on Liv is going to be the best option. But for right now, since I don't have the plate parts, we're going to hold him beltless. We're going to start this off with Zombie Attack, Dig 2 Graves, playing taps. So, much like Cody, he has the triple color build that feeds itself and recycles itself. I would like to show the triple yellow, but that's going to come in time because he's got to be 6-star bronze for that. And I know a lot of people in my faction right now are debating on Gunther and a few other cards from the wall, so I wanted to get this out as fast as possible. I will say this, moving forward, that the triple yellow with Fury 2, I believe it is. Yeah, Fury 2 is going to allow for him to be absolutely dummy broken at 6-star bronze. At 6-star silver, what I ultimately would change up is taking this right here and having a vitality strap. The reason for the vitality trap is I understand that you have to be below 50% health here. But in one turn, if you are smart enough with it, you can actually go Lacerating Chop, or you can hit the Pyrrhic Tactics first, hit that, hurt yourself. Go down to Lacerated Chop, redo this, hit yourself, hurt a little bit, get down to 50%, snag this, and then go right back over. And since you have a vitality strap that increased, 40% health, almost 50% health, is actually going to do quite a bit of justice for you at 6-star silver. At 6-star bronze, you don't necessarily need it because it's not that much of an increase. So ultimately, I would stick with Fury 2, just from the fact that you can do this multiple times. But again, it's to each their own. You could also go full takedown 2 if you have a 200% yellow, and really just kind of mess around with the lacerating chop doing the most damage. So, but again, that's kind of a clunky way to do it. I think that'd be your third option. I think you should go Fury 2, Vitality, then Takedown, if you really want to go down that route. So, starting off with this is the one I found to be most suitable, up to 6-star bronze, maybe a little bit higher. Cody is going to get an added pump. He does actually 60% here and I think 40% here. Let's double check that real quick, just because I'm curious. I want to make sure I'm right in telling you the knowledge. 30% and 60%, which again, at 6-star silver is actually quite a bit of damage. So the silence gems increasing this at 60% is beneficial, because when you add Gargano to it, it's going to make it a little bit more dummy. Granted, you're not getting into the additional silence gem, but 75% added to this is pretty nice. That also being said, I really truly believe that this needs to have double MP, strictly because you're going in with 6. If you have the max perks, you got 3, so you're looking at 9, 10, so that's starting off. But if during feud you go up against someone who actually built up their defense, you're looking at 6, 7 from the start off, 8, 9. So this is going to fall 1 MP short, which is fine, which will trigger this first. It won't do this, it'll do this. At least the AI does it properly at that time. That'll trigger first, then it'll go into that. Hopefully they don't fuck it up, and it'll go into this. But all of this, or this right here, is solely based on this. So it's a gamble. If they blow up the entire board and you're left with 10, you're not looking at nearly enough damage. Like, that's where the downside comes in. And that's where the triple yellow becomes the most efficient way to do it, in my opinion. So, but that comes to 6-star bronze. Again, I will do a follow-up video on Cody, Gunther, and Becky once I have them completely leveled up and ready for, at 6-star bronze, at 6-star silver. I will do follow-up videos, and it will be one combined video. I just want to show basically the damage on all of them and what their difference is from now till then. So if you've already got Gunther at 6-star bronze, 6-star silver, you already know what he does. Same thing with Cody, same thing with Becky and her plate. If you already have those set up, great. If you don't and you're thinking about it, if these guys are sitting at the bottom of your roster, hopefully this video helps. So again, we're going to go back in with the 5-star gold here and just see what sort of shenanigans we can come up with. Ultimately, I kind of wish that this right here, I wish there was some way that you could do all 3 without having double MP trainer, but it is what it is. So we have quite a bit left, actually. He left us a lot. So we're going to be doing 75,000 for every silence gem on top of the 107. So that'll effectively go to 321,000 ultimately if you get it 200%, and this will be over $1 million with the 200 or with the percentage. But again, since I don't have a belt, we can't really test that right now. But he's already down to 2.6 just from the sub. He's already done. There's no question. He's just done. So like before, we just noticed what happened. It was a very quick, efficient win. But what I want to test this out now, I do want to go throw this at Sammy real fast and see what comes of it. Because if we're looking at 2 million off of that and it's a recycle, I think it's going to be a little bit faster, possibly, than Cody. My other recommendation, if you're going with this build and you do have him, which I don't have him, getting Superhero Ray and putting him right here for that 12k extra purple is going to do wonders. It's just going to. So this is probably going to take half a second. This is the main build for right now, and since I can't showcase the triple yellow, this is ultimately what I'm focusing on, and that's why I was just talking about the triple yellow. I would give it a go here, but health is too low. I don't trust it. So let's see what sort of damage we're looking at here. Drops him down, 2 million. That's not bad. Again, this will be a lot more efficient when we can get a belt on him. Ultimately, all of our damage is coming from the Silence Gems right now. And he is just flat out wrecking us and just gem damage alone. So I'm not 100% if we're going to finish this quickly. We may lose. And if we lose, we lose. But at least we understand what his limitations are. His limitations as of right now are solely at 6-star bronze. He can take down anything 6-star bronze and below, and it looks like he might actually be able to take out a 6-star bronze. So we've gotten through 2 submissions, 2 silences, 2 finishers. So we're looking at turn 4 right now. And this is fine. We are fine. Everything is fine. I am not worried in the slightest. I'm slightly worried. I don't like losing. I hate to lose. But, you know, it's a game after all. You're not meant to win everything. So we'll hit here. Most likely he's going to get us into the danger zone if he doesn't cascade, or if he cascades next turn. Oh, no, he's done. So that was 3, 3, and 3. So quite a bit of turns for it, but ultimately still won. Right? Did we win? We should win. Yep, we won. Heck yeah. So he can take down a 6-star bronze. That's pretty sweet, actually. I'm sure a 5-star gold, he could drop 6-star bronzes like their Tic Tacs. Like, I'm not too worried about Gunther. Gunther is now officially my strongest trickster in the male department. I love Trick Dom. Trick Dom is a great card. He does very, very well. But in this game, even your main carries can get replaced by an even better main carry, and that's what's happening here. Gunther is taking over the Trick Dom and Trick Damien slot. Trick Damien is going to be the backup for, just in case we have a feud that requires more than one trickster. Damien would be my backup, and then Trick Dom would be the follow-up for that. And I realize that sounds really, really, really weird, given the fact that, Trick Dom is 6-star silver and Damien is 6-star bronze. But the difference between them both, Dom caps off at 7 million damage, and it's nice and everything like that, but there's so many variables that come into play with him that if one slip-up happens, he fails. And he goes too slow against a 6-star silver. Against a 6-star bronze, he's turn 1. Against a 6-star bronze, Damien is turn 2, essentially. I think he's turn 3 at a certain point. But that's solely because of how I have him set up right now. He's not he's Fury 1, not Fury 2. And the belt is not great. Ultimately, I would really like to throw on the zombie plate on him just so I could, pump up the damage a little bit. But that's going to come with time, too. I got to find different plates for that. But the thing that Damien has over Dom is the stun ability. The stun ability is stun, then you just you finish him off. It goes fast, is what I'm saying. Ultimately, it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same speed. He's just a little bit of a safer bet. The stun is more safe than relying on the leech gems from Dominic to actually do something of value. But Gunther is going to be the fastest one by far. Ultimately, with triple yellow, he's most likely turn 1. I've heard multiple accounts that he is well worth it. I would take this in against Sammy right now, but since I don't have lacerating chop, it's null and void. Basically, I would have double barrel drop kick, Pyrrhic Tactics, and bite. I just don't see this one being viable right at this moment. This is the viable. So up until 6-star bronze, triple purple does the job perfectly. At 6-star bronze, triple yellow might be a little bit faster. You're looking at potentially having some hiccups here or there just because of the fact you have to hit this a few times. So ultimately, you'd probably go in with Kofi. Let's see here. Just for craps and giggles, okay? So say we're running triple yellow. We'd hit this first, we would have the lacerating bite down here, and then this. So what I would run, we're just going to act like triple yellows right here, just for right at this moment. If I could proxy it in, I would. We would go Kofi, 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 Kofi. Did I miss you? Oh, no, you're off. There you go, Kofi. And then we would go move damage and aim for lifesteal. So you have Trick Roman here for 50%. Over here, you would have Nakamura for another 100%. So we're stealing up to 2 million health. Ultimately, we're parried up with this very well. And I think there's one more lifesteal, but he's not really... Yeah, it's just Balor. Balor, I don't feel will add any sort of... I mean, going 1.2, technically what you're taking, or what you're doing to yourself, you're ultimately getting back in one shot. So right here alone, that's 3 million damage out the gate. So that's pretty self-sufficient right there. Ultimately, now I'm looking at this more along the lines of this is probably going to be the fastest set. Hit Pyric, hit this, hit Pyric, go with that. Because ultimately, you're going to lose a lot of damage. I would look it up real quick, but I don't really feel like it. Ultimately, what you're getting double back. You're getting double your health back in return with this setup. And ultimately, I think that's what's going to be the best. So, because really... if you really feel like being a kind of a sticky panda, ultimately you're going to get this off 3 or 4 times. Most likely, no, it's 12 to the end. So you're going to get this off 3 times. 4 times. 4 times. Because you have your first one, hit. First one, hit. Yeah, you're going to get it off 4 times. So you're ultimately going to rip your own life apart, but by doing the bite in between, you're going to get it all back anyways. So that's well worth it, in my opinion. So if you are currently debating on the wall whether or not you want Gunther and some plates, or you're looking for Liv, or you're looking for Becky, or you're looking for something else on there, Gunther, I mean, you're looking for a new card to add to your mix. I can't tell. I know Randy Orton, the zombie version of him at 6-star silver, one-shots everything. That's just from what I'm told. I know Steamboat is well worth it. He's a 2-turn cycle, maybe, but his initial shot is pretty strong. I think it hits for like 4 or 6 million. 4 to 6 million, one or the other. And then I want to say, who else is on the wall? Let's double check real quick, because I want to end this video by giving you the advice of what I would look at. So before all of this started, I had Raquel and Piper at 6-star bronze. So they were both very, very solid cards. They both do the job very, very well, and both of them were contenders for the #1 spot to go to 6-star silver. So with that knowledge, I wouldn't be going for Liv necessarily, because I already have 2 giant powerhouses that can do the job. So, but since I pulled Liv, Liv is going to be the #1 slot. Becky, if you have Acro Bianca at 6-star silver, basically, you don't really need Becky. Becky's very, very solid, but so is Acro Bianca. But if you're looking for a backup Acro, Becky 2 bites clearly is a choice. Now, if all you have for Acros is Acro Liv or Shotzi, or those are the only 2 Acros I can think of that are actually worth a damn in the female department along with Bianca. Those 3. You should already have Shotzi. But if you haven't worked her up because you haven't started working your females yet, but you can get Becky 2 bites, Becky is over Shotzi, in my opinion, my humbled opinion. She is also over Acro Liv. Acro Liv still does a phenomenal job with La Familia plate. She still does the damage. But at 6-star silver, it's really hard for her to take one down in a timely fashion unless you have the 2 times speed and the RNG is in your favor and you don't cascade on her at all. I know that I have now officially benched Acro Liv, even though she's 6-star silver. She'll be used when and if I feel it necessary as a backup to Becky. Gunther. Obviously, Gunther is by far the strongest trickster male in the game right now. The reason I say this is twofold. The triple purple does absolute destruction at 6-star silver. The triple yellow does absolute destruction at 6-star bronze to 6-star silver. You can't go wrong either way with those. There are so many tricksters in the game that I'm sure you have multiple options and stuff like that, but he outdoes a majority of them. Again, top trickster in the game, in my humble opinion, might be #2. If you have a better option than Gunther, I will be surprised. So go for Gunther if you really need to. I mean, he's 64,000, and we're getting these medallions like crazy. The Heartless Kid, Shawn Michaels, very good card. One of the cards I don't have, I actually don't have any of these 5. I have Rhea, and the only reason why I think you should go for Rhea is if you don't have her, but you are rocking Ghostbuster Cena. She's one of the main coaches for him that, along with Ridge Holland, makes him turn 1 for a majority of the cards. At 6-star bronze, he can take down 6-star silver turn 2, ultimately. And if you're lucky enough to get the Judgment Day plate, slap him with the Judgment Day plate, slap him with the Z plate, and just watch the sparks fly. And the only reason for Z plate being on him, and I want to clarify this, is because the fact that it drops their gem damage by like 35%. That helps come pinning. That's really all it comes down to. So if you don't have any good acros, like you feel like your acros are a little bit lackluster at best, even if you have Ghostbuster Cena, just throwing that out there. You have Ghostbuster Cena, you have Warrior, you have Tatanka, you have D-Lo, you have stuff like that. I believe that D-Lo is one of the top acros, but I still believe Randy is actually better than D-Lo. I think he's faster, to be honest, because D-Lo, 99% of the time, is turn 2. The reason why I say he's 99% of the time turn 2 is solely because first feud of the month is really the only time that his triple blue goes off turn 1, unless come flash feud time, you pull the chase card and you get that +3. Then he's turn 1, but he's situational turn 1 at best, hence why I have Judgment Day played on him. This is from my experience and my experience alone. This is not saying this is an actual fact. I want to clarify that. So if you're looking at the wall and you feel like you can get Gunther, get Gunther. If you fall short of Gunther by like 2,000, go for Eternal Dragon because he is money. It came from the boiler. Mankind is actually required quite a bit in the bonuses for zombies. It's ridiculous how often he's required. But he's a decent card. He's not great. I would put him probably C tier at this point. Maybe B. I'd put him B tier, actually. I would put him B tier. The Unmortal Hulk Hogan. A very strong Hogan card. Hogans in this game have seen a roller coaster ride of emotions. Some went to the very tippy top and then plummeted all the way down, then came right back up, then plummeted right back down. Hogan, the Acro Hogan is actually super rare. The fact that they have him for 40,000 right now kind of surprises the hell out of me. But he is required. He is a good card, and if you don't have a good Hogan, then there you go. By saying that, I'm meaning that if only you have is Santa Hogan, and Santa Hogan is only sitting between 4-star and 5-star, really, it's only twice a month that you get the tokens for him. So it's kind of hard to put him into that top range until you have him 6-star bronze from a pull, or you just gathered enough of the tokens to get him there. I would go with this, or I'd go with Acro Hogan if you need a good Hogan. That's a solid F. Now, moving down the list, Rhea, very, very good as a coach, lackluster as a card now. As she caps as 5-star gold. It makes me sad, but that's where she caps at. Rated Z Edge, very, very good card still. I believe he caps at 6-star bronze, but I haven't really heard too much of him on 6-star silver. I know that a lot of people like using him for boss battle, but his animations are slow. He still hits really strong. And again, one of those cards that if you can throw the Z plate on and a Judgment Day plate on, it's easy street. It's just countdown, or charge up the finisher, countdown, deplete their MP because of the Judgment Day plate, hit the finisher, blow up the board, recycle. He's a recycle machine, and I think he can go turn 2 or turn 3. Something like that. Triple H, if you're close enough to him, great. If not, it's not like you're missing out on a whole lot. Triple H, the Skull King, still does very well. His cap is 5-star gold. However, at 6-star bronze and 6-star silver, if you have the Deadman Sigil, he goes infinite, and it takes a while to win because of the gem damage, but he still wins, is what I'm telling you. As a defensive card for Showdown, with Deadman Sigil and probably just the Deadman Sigil. I'm sure there's another one I'm missing right now. There's probably one of the plates from one of the ultimate plates that generates. I'm pretty sure there's a break red, get black, or break black, get red. One of those two on him would make him a recycling nonsense machine with a really solid finish, but again, takes time to win. Bianca is self-explanatory. Everybody already knows that Bianca is well worth the investment. She does very, 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 very well. She does 10 times better with Veer's plate and braid plate, but she still does very well. She's still one of my top trickster females to use. I don't like using her nearly as much, but she's still one of the top. She's my backup to Dakota Kai right now. Lashley, still very solid card, very great coaching ability. He's an MP reducer coach, and I believe him to be very, very strong. At 6-star silver with Bulldog plate, or I think there's another plate. I know with 1 or 2 plates. I can't think of the second one right now. Bulldog does very well for him. You can't use Cody plate on him because he doesn't do red, he does yellow. I'll have to think on that. I'll have to ponder on that one. But Lashley at 6-star silver still does the job. He's a very, very nuisance of a card when it comes to defense, but AI does not run him correctly. And when it does run him correctly, you're fucked. Let's just put it that way. Deadman Walking Taker is, in my opinion, the second strongest Undertaker underneath Showboat Taker. The reason why I say this is because of the pumps that they've been giving to him. The new Taker plate, or you make 15 trap gems, increase your green gem damage by 200%, and then his 50% increased gem damage on his gear make him actually worthwhile. And at 6-star bronze or 6-star silver, with that added pumpage of gem damage, I see him clearing 10 to 12 million turn 1. That's just my opinion. That is the way I would run him, and ultimately I think he's well worth the investment. But I will let you know how all that goes after I get the strap completely unlocked from him. I'm hoping during the kickoff and the Hall of Fame I can get quite a bit of strap parts to work a few belts. I have a few belts that need to be really focused on right now. Now, when it comes to the plates, I disagree with the General's Orders plate. I don't think it's well worth it. You're only getting 3 MP and 3 yellow MP. So really, I'm sure there's a few cards that this can work on. And to be blunt, I believe on Gunther, this would be really good for the steel health move and stuff like that. I just don't see this being of much value. I put this lower on the list. I'm sure it helps quite a bit of cards, but again, I still put it on the lower tier. Heartstopper, I can't click on it right now. I'll just go and look. So Heartstopper plate, I know this one. When you hit a blue move, increase your blue gem damage by 50%. On Acro Bianca and Zombie Bianca, the two main ones that come to my mind, this is phenomenal. When it comes to D-Lo, triple blue, perfect for him. Those are the 3 new cards I can think of, new-ish cards. Acro Bianca's been out for a while. But D-Lo was 2 months ago, chase card, and then Becky was this month, chase card. This works on all 3 of those splendidly. And to be honest, if I wasn't strapping this on Becky, Becky come now, I believe it is. Now I believe I can actually put it on her. Let me check real quick. You all know me. I kind of tend to go off on different tangents every once in a while. But when a thought comes into my head, I have to execute it. If not, I'm going to forget about it. There you are, you beautiful bitch. It's not unlocked yet. But I have this on standby for her. Activate a blue move, increase your blue gem damage by 50%. If you did not see the Becky video, it literally goes blue, blue, finish, turn 1. And it's done. It's done. If you can hit double blue and go into the finisher, you're looking at 100% blue gem increase damage. And then here, I don't even know what I would throw here. I think I'm going to throw the sub-break plate on her, to be honest. Just because I know there's people that are going to come after her. She has an anti-bleed belt on her because of Zombie Bianca's, and I want to be able to negate any sort of bleed from that bitch. Be honest, I don't really truly appreciate her the way I probably should. Zombie Bianca, that is. But Becky, I appreciate to the fullest extent of my ability. Looking at the plates again, just because we're here. Ultimate plate is a Sheriff's badge. We saw that working in the Cody video. Whenever you break 15 or more red gems, generate 30 yellow gems. Beautiful card. I had this on Powerhouse KO for a little while doing step tours. He was hitting 60 million turn 2 just because of the added gems falling. It helped break the remaining traps, and it did wonders. Taker plate, we already talked about that with Taker. When you make 15 or more trap gems, increase your green gem damage by 200% for 1 turn. Works perfectly on Taker, and it also, from my knowledge and what I've been told, works on Dexter Loomis. Makes him basically the level of, from what I'm told, it makes him the level of Trickster Dakota Kai with Drip Plate. So for free players or free-to-play players that ultimately spend absolutely no money on this game, this month, this plate right here works perfectly for your Loomis that you got for free a few months back. And then obviously we have our tokens and stuff down here. I have 11,000 waiting. I want to see what happens with Showdown to see if I can get the Gunther plate. If I can get the Gunther plate, great. I'd really like to try and get to Hogan though, or Dragon. I just don't see this happening, but if I can get to Dragon, I'm going to be super stoked. Because I believe his ability is pretty fantastic. Let's look that up real quick while I'm here, because I want to do a definitive answer for all of you. Steamboat, Eternal Dragon. Coach ability. Yep, does kick out. Oh, it's the generator. Yep. I need Ricky. I need Ricky so bad, because this is an awesome coaching ability. If you have Zombie Ray, Zombie Dom, Acro Randy, Ricky, and then let's see, there's the other ones. I know there are. What's Hogan's? Because I have a majority of the zombies. I just don't have the good ones. I just don't have the great ones. Nope, that's Silence. Hulk Hogan will be perfect for Zombie Gunther. Will be perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right, and then we had HBK. Nope, Sean, because you can't just type HBK in the search bar. Okay, this is a Heartless Kid. Is he the other one? Yep, he's black. Okay. So ultimately, if you're looking for coaches too, Sean and Steamboat, 2 of the viable. So you have Sean, Steamboat, and Orton for one of the best coaching abilities ever. The generation right here is perfect, and the kick out being 10% more does help quite a bit. So that's going to be the end of this video. I'm so happy you guys walked along this journey with me. So sorry that it took so long to get through this one. I just wanted to go through the wall because I've had a lot of people asking me what they should do for their wall. So I'm hoping that this kind of breaks it down a little bit more for you guys and helps you kind of make a choice on where you want to go with this wall and the massive amount of medallions that they gave. If Scopely, if you ever see this, if any of your creators or something sees this, thank you so much from the community for this event. This event ultimately kind of reignited a lot of our passions for this game. We go each and every single month with about 3 weeks of shenanigans where we all kind of question what you're doing in life. But when this hits, we are all eternally grateful for this, because this allows so many people to increase their rosters the way they need to be competitive. And honestly, as someone who wants to be more competitive in this game, this is like one of the best gifts we could ever receive. So, with all that being said, thank you all so much for coming in and seeing this video. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about me. Let's get up to 100 subscribers and hopefully up to 1,000 eventually. I've always said this since day one of these videos. If I can make this into a career, I will be the happiest man in the world. So again, I appreciate every single one of you, and I'm going to leave you with this the way I always leave you. Life can be fun if you allow it to be. We'll see you in the next video.